Water touches our lives in many ways, whether it's through daily activities at home, like washing dishes, taking showers and drinking water, or in the fields, helping crops grow and nourishing livestock. But more than a decade ago, Wichita city officials realized if nothing changed, Wichita and the surrounding region would not have enough water to meet future demands.
Hello, I'm David Warren. I'm Director of Wichita's Water Utilities, and I'm here to talk to you today about our water, our future. All of us have seen in the headlines recently problems associated with water supplies throughout our United States. Cities such as Atlanta and Las Vegas are struggling with how they're going to supply water for the continued economic development of their cities and their areas. Here in Wichita, we've been involved since 1993 in the development of a project that we believe will bring water supplies to our community through the year 2050. Water is essential to our well-being.
The Aquifer Storage Recovery Project is a fancy name for a simple system to preserve our water supply. Here's how it works. When the Little Arkansas River has above normal water flow, the excess water is captured, treated, and transported into the Equisbeds aquifer, basically an underground storage area. The water is kept there for later use.
We have completed the first phase of the project. It has a capacity to capture and recharge up to 10 million gallons per day from the Little Arkansas River. The facilities that I'm standing at right now is part of the treatment plant that was constructed in that first phase. In the next phase of the project, we will be capturing up to 30 million gallons per day from a surface water intake on the Little Arkansas River. And then we will have to take that water and clean it up enough that we can use it for recharge.
During later phases of the project, the Wichita Water Utilities Department hopes to capture up to 100 million gallons per day and store up to 65 billion gallons of water.
That's about the same amount of water as held in Cheney Reservoir. Only instead of holding it in a surface water reservoir, we're going to hold it in an underground reservoir, much bigger. It's going to cover almost 115 square miles. Takes that much space to hold that much water. But once we put the water in there, then it becomes a water supply source that we can use, plus also protecting the aquifer from saltwater contamination.
Saltwater contamination is one of the reasons the ASR project is necessary. It comes from two sources: oil-filled evaporation pits used in the 1930s and the Arkansas River.
And so if we can fill up that hole with this recharge project, that will help form a barrier to this saltwater contamination. That kind of technology, that approach, is used quite a bit on the coasts, California and Florida and other places like that, where they have saltwater coming in from the ocean. It's unusual that you'd think we'd be doing that same technology in Kansas in the middle of the continent, but we'd be accomplishing the same thing as forming a barrier from that saltwater contamination using fresh water that we'd be recharging with.
But some of the nearby farmers and ranchers had concerns. They were worried the project would lower their water supply and contaminate it.
I think it's a project that needs to be watched as we go along very carefully to make sure it's performing like we think it should. I hope like heck it works. I hope it works. I hope it's a good project.
To make sure the project works, a partnership was formed. It includes the City of Wichita, State of Kansas, Regional Area Economic Partnership of South Central Kansas, Groundwater Management District 2, Visioneering Wichita, and others.
And there has in fact come a regional interest in the project that has resulted in both state and federal dollars being put into this project to help make it a reality.
The $350 million project is funded with city, state, and federal dollars. The federal government is contributing $30 million. The state just approved $1 million and is expected to give another $7 million over the next 7 years.
As a farmer and a legislator, it's easy to see why this project is so important. The City of Wichita is going to be able to supply water for their community as well as other communities around our area. As a farmer, we're able to grow crops that supply food not only for our nation but globally as well.
The cost of the project will result in Wichita water customers paying more, but compared to the rest of the country, Wichita's rates will still rank among the lowest in the nation.
The good news for our customers is that cost, albeit very high, we can spread out over several years before we have to fully implement that cost. We can also do things with the way that we finance that project to let future generations who benefit more from the future water supply pay a heavier load on that debt.
But this project is worth the cost. In addition to preserving our water through 2050, it will reap other benefits. A key one is economic development. To attract and keep businesses in the south central Kansas region, a sufficient water supply is necessary. Regions that don't properly manage their water supplies risk losing companies and damaging their recruiting efforts. The ASR project will give the Wichita area a competitive edge. It will help us keep and recruit jobs.
Wichita believes that this project is a win-win project for the entire region. Wichita, of course, gets a water supply to supply our needs through the year 2050, but the other users, the farmers, the ranchers, the other industrial and even municipal users in this region get the benefit.
What happens to Wichita's water supply beyond 2050 remains to be seen. But you can bet the Wichita Water Utilities Department and its partners will continue to find solutions as creative and effective as the ASR project. They will continue to remain dedicated to preserving our water, our future.